Hello. This talk is about the large sutra on the perfection of wisdom. We're caught up in the phenomena that rise and fall and rise and fall. And there's something beyond that. It's imaged as a goddess, but it's emptiness. And that emptiness pervades everything that happens in this world. The idea of getting free of all the entanglements of the earth here below in order to reach something vast and wonderful has been with us humans for a long time. People in India wrote down a text that describes the journey from this world to the beyond. And that sutra was taken from India to China, and Kumarajiva received it and expounded it in Chinese. Kumarajiva's version of the text is different from what we already have. The large sutra on perfect wisdom coming out of India, the text was different, and the attitude and cast of mind was different. So Kumarajiva revised it in order to be able to open the minds of the Chinese people. And then through a whole series of circumstances, the idea of perfected wisdom came to the West, brought by Tibetan lamas and other workers in the field, all aspiring to something beyond what we know. Prajnaparamita is the name of the being that brings us beyond. And she has many facets and yet no facets. There's a method to arrive at enlightenment, at omniscience. And that method entails good action on this earth. The notion is we accumulate these good actions, and then we accumulate the wisdom, the understanding of those actions. And those two goods help us to get beyond where we are to that somewhere else that is awesomely present everywhere. The great emptiness has no adherence. The great emptiness is sufficient in itself and requires no phenomena. Our essential nature is such that we strive for the beyond. And that nature propels us to let go of our entanglements and the cumbersomeness of living on this earth and dealing with all the phenomena that arise. And we look at where from they arise, and that's the great emptiness. All of us are interdependent, we're linked. There's no such thing as a standalone being of any sort. Interbeing pervades our experience. There are causes and conditions for that which arises. And those causes manifest in phenomena. There are 6 perfections. The first is generosity, which takes place in many forms. Generosity makes it a better world. People are not so deep in their suffering when they receive a gift. The second perfection is ethical conduct, not doing things which are negative or non-conducive to a deeper understanding. Patience is essential, and effort, applied effort, dismantling, as it were, the obstructions and opening up the vistas of the beyond. Samadhi, concentration, is essential if we wish to experience what the Buddha experienced many centuries ago. But it's the same emptiness as it always was. So with patience and diligence, through samadhi, we arrive at perfected wisdom. Perfect wisdom is the knowledge of directly realizing the nature of phenomena, free from reference points, which has gone or makes one go to the non-abiding nirvana. In the original Buddhism, the ego, the self, is considered to be an illusion. There's really no such thing. What we experience instead is the process of the 5 skandhas. The structures and forms in the world around us are one skandha. Feeling a reaction, positive, negative, or neutral, to the sense perceptions forms the basis of our feeling tones. All of this is driven by karmic impulses, by structures in the mind that cause us to seize on an object, that cause us to do things good, bad, indifferent. And all of this is perceived by the discriminating consciousness. This process is free of any self, free of any reference to me and mine and any of those misconstructions of reality, and leads us out of the maze into the actuality of who and what we are. Originally, the Buddha gathered many people and spoke the Dharma. There was a dialogue between Lord Buddha and Shariputra. And Shariputra asked, how do you course in emptiness? How do you course in perfected wisdom? By not dwelling on any Dharma, by not hanging on any phenomenon, simply open and free. Bodhisattvas, those beings who tenderly watch over us and raise us up out of our miserable state into a much better state. Bodhisattvas, great beings, by means of all modes, all characteristics, all methods, want to know all dharmas, and to do this, they apply the course of perfect wisdom. By not dwelling in any dharma, they implement the 37 wings of enlightenment and continue on the path to the great emptiness. If the Bodhisattvas want to understand the special dharmas of a Buddha, they will apply the course of perfect wisdom. The assembly gathered, heard the words of wisdom from the Lord Buddha, and drew to them the four great kings, those who guard the Mount Sumeru flanks. And they brought to the Buddha 4 bowls. They miraculously coalesced into one bowl, and that was the Buddha's begging bowl. While coursing in perfect wisdom, Bodhisattvas meditate. The Bodhisattva, Buddha, and so on, all dharmas are mere words and cannot be got at, cannot be reviewed. The Bodhisattvas, the great beings who would apply the course of perfect wisdom, surpass all the Shravakas and all the Pratyeka Buddhas, since these Bodhisattvas use emptiness that cannot be found. They use wisdom to rescue all living beings. The Bodhisattvas course in those 6 perfections up to the special dharmas of a Buddha, and they attain full enlightenment and enable countless beings, countless living beings, to attain to nirvana. By means of the existence of the causal matrix of Bodhisattvas, great beings, all the world's wholesome dharmas arise. Applying emptiness, the Bodhisattvas are joined to perfect wisdom. They apply the 7 kinds of emptiness and do not review forms or other skandhas. In the emptiness of form, there is no form. And so forth, all the things that might be non-empty turn out to be empty. And in the emptiness of consciousness, there is no consciousness. The Heart Sutra contains a similar argument, a similar method for attaining to the world of light. In emptiness, there are no dharmas. There are no phenomena. Phenomena are an illusion. They're ephemeral. They come and go, and yet something remains constant. The Bodhisattvas, the great beings, course in perfect wisdom and enter into emptiness without characteristics of all dharmas, but do not unite with any of them. They do not review past, present, future. They do not review the skandhas. They do not join any dharma with knowledge. They are joined with perfect wisdom. They do not think of any dharma. They do not think of any no dharma. The yoga of perfect wisdom is the foremost yoga, the unsurpassed yoga. The bodhisattvas, the great beings, are united with emptiness, with the signless and the wishless. They give rise to great loving kindness and great compassion. They produce no negative states of mind. Many are the paths of rebirth taken by bodhisattvas as they go from Buddha field to Buddha field. These bodhisattvas course in the six perfections, do not dwell in the existence of any dharma. The fifth chapter of this text is called In Praise of Transcendence. Great perfection is the wisdom perfection of bodhisattvas, great beings. It is the ultimate perfection. Various synonyms for the perfect wisdom of bodhisattvas, great beings, are given. Perfect own mark emptiness, own being emptiness, and so forth. All the pleasing things of this world exist due to bodhisattvas. $10 billion humans won the patient acceptance of dharmas which fail to be produced. And all would become Buddhas, called flower of awakening. In a dialogue with Subhuti, the Buddha reminds him that perfect wisdom, bodhisattva, are mere words. They do not arise or cease, but merely on the basis of the use of words, they are used in speech. These names do not exist inwardly. They do not exist outwardly. They do not exist between the two. Internal and external phenomena exist merely as words used in speech. Names are false constructs. Feelings are false constructs. Dharmas are false constructs. Train like this. Recognizing names as false constructs, the bodhisattvas do not grasp onto any dharma. They do not reify any phenomenon. Bodhisattvas coursing in perfect wisdom by not grasping onto any dharma augment the perfections, win the irreversible level, purify Buddha realms, and mature sentient beings. A bodhisattva is not form, nor feeling, nor perceptions, nor impulses, nor consciousness. A bodhisattva is not form, and so forth. A bodhisattva is not suchness of form, and so forth. A bodhisattva is not other than the suchness of form, and so forth. Is there any dharma that means bodhisattva? No, indeed, O Lord. Skandhas, process of skandhas, ayatanas, the sense gates, the 12 links of dependent arising, that which comes from below opens out into phenomena. These are not the meaning of bodhisattva. Bodhisattvas coursing in perfect wisdom cannot find the meaning of form. The meaning of wishlessness cannot be found. Dharmas do not see dharmas, nor do they see the dharma dhatu. Nor does the dharma dhatu see dharmas. The nature of the conditioned does not see the nature of the unconditioned. The nature of the unconditioned does not see the nature of the conditioned. Bodhisattvas do not have a view of any dharmas. They are not alarmed, not cowed, not afraid. They are neither depressed nor regretful. Bodhisattvas, great beings who want to implement the first 5 perfections, will train in perfect wisdom. Those who want to understand form and so forth will train in perfect wisdom. Bodhisattvas, great beings who want to satisfy the wishes of all sentient beings, will train in perfect wisdom. Bodhisattvas do not review any dharma. They do not review emptiness. The bodhisattvas who course like this in the perfection of wisdom can gain entry to the bodhisattva position. Bodhisattvas, great beings who want to train in perfect wisdom, do not dwell on any dharma. They do not dwell on form nor the other manifestations. They do not dwell on the 6 perfections and so forth. They do not even dwell on the 18 special dharmas of a Buddha. Does a state of mind exist marked by no state of mind? In the mark of no state of mind, the mark of state of mind or the mark of no state of mind cannot be found. A son or daughter of good lineage who wants to train at the level of a Shravaka, a Pratyeka Buddha, or a Bodhisattva will listen to the perfect wisdom, hold it in mind, study, recite, correctly remember it, and practice as taught. When bodhisattvas, great beings, hear this explanation, their state of mind is not depressed, not afraid, not regretful. Then they persist as irreversible on the basis of persisting in non-persisting dharmas. Bodhisattvas who want to course in perfect wisdom will not dwell in form, feeling, perception, karmic formations, or consciousness. They will not dwell in the 12 sense gates and so forth, to not dwelling in the links of dependent arising. Form and the mark of form are empty, and so on, up to all dharmas are empty. Emptiness of form is not called form, but apart from emptiness, there is no form. Whatever is form, that is emptiness. Whatever is emptiness, that is form. Apart from emptiness, there are no skandhas and so forth, and no old age and death. Remember the great emptiness. It will help you relieve your suffering and bring you into joy. I hope these words sink deeply and make sense in the ultimate sense. Thank you very much for tuning in, and God bless.